Mental stress will manifest in your body as physical symptoms. And the older you get, the more you're going to notice this is really happening. For example, you get a gut feeling when something isn't going well, or you're stressed and you can potentially feel it in your gut, or your back, or your shoulder, or whatever. That's the sort of thing that happens. So, work stress can very easily turn into back pain or gut pain. If it's gut pain, a lot of the time it's because it's something that you don't want to be doing, or something you're trying to avoid, or something along those sort of lines. But it can vary because we're all very different people with different bodies and different needs, but it is absolutely a common thing to have show up. Another thing you might find is you just don't feel like eating, or you can't digest your food. It feels like it's just sitting there. That's the same sort of thing. That's chronic stress. I've definitely experienced that, where I just wouldn't eat because my body was so stressed that trying to digest food was just too much. The reason this occurs is because the body uses the majority of its energy, or the most energy at least, through the eyes and the digestive system. So anytime you are eating food and having to digest it, it's going to take a huge amount of energy. Anytime you are watching TV, using a screen, using your phone, having the eyes open and concentrating on something uses a very large amount of energy. So it's something to be aware of. The last thing you want is for your body to get into that chaotic state so that you're unable to do the things you want to do. This is chronic stress at its purest, and it's way more common than you think it's going to be. But it's time for you to start listening to your body, because you can't keep going in these states. It will destroy you. When I was going through that stage of not being able to eat properly because too much stress, I was actually working not far from here, and I had to leave the job because the stress just got way too much. Body couldn't handle it. So I hope you're not in that state, but it is certainly a possibility. Now, you can use heart rate variability to be able to track this sort of thing. Heart rate variability is based on your different body metrics as to what is working, what is not working. So if you've got like a heart rate monitor or a fitness watch, something like that's able to tell you what your heart rate variability is. Basically, it's just a score that you're going to get on any given day as to what your energy levels are at. And if your energy levels are low, you probably shouldn't be training too hard or working too hard. If your energy levels are high, then free rein and go for it. You don't have to have a smartwatch or something like that to be able to track your heart rate variability. You can do like a gut feeling, which is one of the things that I'll do. Like, I will wake up on any given day and know where I'm at. I'll give myself a score out of 10 as to where my energy's at, and use that to be able to track it from day to day. So I know how much energy I've got now, how much energy I've got, well, how much energy I have at the start of the day, how much energy I have at the end of the day. And then that'll allow me to know what's going to go on for the next day. It'll allow me to allow for more sleep if need be, maybe to not train so hard or not train at all, change my diet, change how much work I do, all that sort of thing. Now, stress comes in many forms, and that's the trickiest part, because you really have to get to the bottom of each of these things to move past it. So in my 12-week program, we look at 9 different areas of your life, the stress that comes up in each of these things, and then how to minimize the stress, increase the energy, and allow you to plan for your ideal lifestyle so you're living far more like the way that you want to, playing by your rules and not somebody else's rules, because that is the cause of a lot of the stress. And when you're living what seems to be somebody else's life or someone else's idea of your life, and you can't do the things that you want to do. So mental health is not that difficult to fix, adjust. If you've never read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, you really should. That is one of the most amazing books on rewiring your brain and your thought patterns. And I have used it to go from a very, very dark place to a very, very strong mental state. And I still do the meditations today, and that's 6 or 7 years later. Could even be more, I don't know. But it is profound, the difference that you can make in your own health by reprogramming your brain. See, what happens is you end up with these mental programs that are running based on previous experience, life experience, events that have happened in the past, and we bring meaning to these things and we hold on to them as if they are true when they might not actually be true at all. And a lot of these things are completely under the surface, a subconscious or unconscious thought, and that leaves you in a state of kind of living the same day over and over again, having the same thoughts and then having the same experiences and doing the same thing even though you know consciously that it's not the right way to do it. This is just how life works. This is how the brain works. But you can reprogram it with some very simple things. Even in my phase 1 life map program, I'll give you a really basic exercise to do where you can start to reprogram your brain just on listening to your thoughts, writing them down, and doing some work on them. Because the more you can find out what those thoughts are, and what I'm talking about is all of that mental chatter that's going on up here, your self-talk, which is quite often very negative, you have to first listen to it. You have to write it all down so you can see it outside of your head, and then you can work on addressing it. Is it true? Is it not true? If it's true, what are the cases for, or what are the cases against? Because you might be able to prove that it's not actually true, and then if that's the case, it just disappears and that is no longer a problem for you anymore. So the more stress you can remove from your mind, take away out of your life, the more clear your mind will be, but the more your body relaxes. You don't have that tension up in your traps. You don't have the tension in the back of your shoulders, in your lower back, the pain in your stomach, in your hips, headaches, migraines, all of that sort of stuff can disappear because you address the mental side of things. So do it. And if you don't know where to start, join my community, have a look at some of the free resources we have. The stress cheat sheet in there is absolutely gold for that. And if you've got any questions, fire them through at me. And if you really need a big change because you know that you need someone on your team to talk to and call you on whatever your issues are and your avoidance strategies, well, the 12-week life map program may be for you. In the meantime, go join the community. We'll talk again soon.